and welcome to another exciting episode of the KLIQ Nation's Comic Book Chronicles. I'm your host, Tim D-O-double-G. And the man behind the sound effects is at Agent_70 on Twitter.
What's up, everybody?
Also with me tonight is at Roddy Cat on Twitter. Getting drowned out by the applause.
Normal.
And again, we are the Comic Book Chronicles. You can find us by going to our website, thekliqnation.com. On the homepage, you'll find links to our social media accounts. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google+. Make sure to subscribe to Comic Book Chronicles podcast by going to iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, and CSPN.us, as we are part of the CSPN Media Podcast Network. And while you're on the CSPN, make sure to buy some Comic Book Chronicles merchandise by going to shop.cspn.us. This is the last week of us going live on Fridays, as we're making the switch back to Thursday nights starting next week, 9 o'clock.
Yay!
And you can watch every show live by going to thekliqnation.com/live. And if you want to join in the conversation, use the hashtags Comic Book Chronicles and CBChron on social media. So as last week we did our 2017 year-end awards, we didn't get a chance to review some of the books from last week. So this week we'll be doubling up by talking about books for the week of January 17th, as well as this week's books for January 24th.
There you go.
Let's see. We can go around to each host as they pick one or two titles from the week of the 17th to give their reviews for. Who would like to start?
Let me start. It looks like Tim Dog 98 also read Batman number 39. The big revelation in this, and it kind of ties into a previous not quite a dangling plot line, but it does definitely tie into a previous story. And it's an interesting love triangle being introduced by Tom King. And fans of the Justice League Timverse cartoon are sure to be fans of this development. We're a week out, but we're not really spoiling anything because guess who's on the cover, right?
Yeah.
It is Wonder Woman.
So Joel Jones is back on art for this arc. And as you said, sort of, you have to have been reading the series to really understand what's going on, but it's not too hard to just jump in and know that Batman's engaged to Catwoman. He's been having these different story arcs where he's interacting with the other 2/3 of DC's Trinity.
Right.
Last story arc was Superman, so now he is involved with Wonder Woman more ways than one.
Yeah, but keep on going.
But yeah, I really liked it, and it was probably one of my possible clicks of the week for the week of the 17th.
I thought it read pretty quickly. You know, I guess at the end of the day, what you needed to see was the art and the story as it developed and kind of developed a reason for, I guess, the spoiler alert. increased level of attraction. You know, that was more of a graphic thing than how the story really progressed. You know, just to see, you know, the level of battle they're undergoing together in what seemed, you know, in a kind of a trope nowadays where time passes very slowly here, whereas wherever they're being transported to, it goes very quickly.
Correct. So we're not sure how long in that dimension they've been gone. They make it sound like many years.
Right. Right. So, you know, there's at least some justification for, you know, the possible romantic entanglement that King is teasing here. So, at the end, you know, ultimately what we've got is, you know, every relationship has its road bumps, you know, has its speed bumps, and this is definitely going to be one of them. You know, for Batman and Catwoman, that is.
Correct.
All right. So, what do you got, Tim?
Let me see. I will do. I'm looking at your list.
All the same. Doctor Strange 384.
Yes.
Go for it.
So, let me see if I can bring the cover up.
Right, you got that too, right?
Yep.
There you go.
So, Loki is still the Sorcerer Supreme. Stephen Strange is using every trick in the book to try to get that title back while also keeping Loki away from this spell that would grant him all the world's magic, which has led him to
not the book. At least with what he's done.
Yeah. Which has led him to resurrecting the Sentry and also stealing, well, not stealing, but breaking into Asgard and getting magic from the World Tree.
Just I like how he does a Donald Blake when he confronts Loki.
Oh yeah, with the wood, you know, with the cane. It's not. Yeah, he doesn't use it as a cane, but yeah, it's very similar. Mm-hmm. What I was gonna mention, and I guess the biggest part of what is great about this really kind of nascent run of Donny Cates on the book is that he's really drawing on what Jason Aaron did and developing it and pushing and driving.
In one respect,
what's that?
He actually went a little further in one respect because he called to like a old Doctor Strange miniseries.
Right. That's right. He went to what do you call it, with the Doctor Doom. But like you said, you know, there's that callback, but there's also just, you know, developing on what Aaron just recently established as being the price of magic. And I thought that was a pretty novel way of establishing, hey, we can actually get by and not have to, you know, sacrifice all these people. And that was just a great kind of workaround to the problem.
Yeah, I read, because when I read that part, I was like, oh, sure, if you're going to use them for something, might as well that. Yeah, that was
exactly
cool.
Exactly. I was like, that was an actually good move right there.
And the way that even the whole scene played out was with Sentry and Wong, I was like, eh.
He's like, don't worry about it, I got this.
Yeah.
But right. I was just gonna say, but and my big note in this, because this is the big reveal, and we kind of find out, spoiler alert. We kind of find out what's been locked away behind that door that no one wants to open. And I think this might go back to Aaron's run too. I'm not sure. But
this is actually when you bring up Sentry, you bring up the other part of him.
Exactly. It's only the other shoe falling.
Which I should have thought about that. I was like, well, Sentry's here, then of course the Void will come back. So
not far behind. So, you know, we knew that was coming.
I feel like Aaron's run might have included a door.
They had a creature that was kind of like the Void, but it was
that's right.
Misery, but no, it's not the same.
Okay.
That's cool. So this is another door that he's not supposed to open.
Apparently. Or it's the same one he rebuilt it because, like I said, Misery escaped a while ago.
True. So yeah, this was definitely an exciting read. I like this. This was this definitely pulled together a lot of varying threads, and like we were saying earlier, the variation on the theme of the price of magic, I thought was just ingenious.
So yeah, it's another great series from Marvel series from Donny Cates.
Yeah, and Gabriel Walter on art, which is
Yes. Shout out to Gabriel Hernandez Walter. That's awesome. All right, let's see. Ryder, what do you got?
Trinity.
A lot of the similar things last week.
Yeah, kind of. Trinity D17, I'll go because speaking of that Batman issue, I was actually going to save this to rapid fire, but so the Trinity is looking for their mascara because I don't know, maybe that happened somewhere else, but they ended up being pulled into some kind of magic portal, which sends them to what looks to be the Savage Land or Monster Island or whatever the case may be. But it's a place that I'm not too familiar with, but apparently is in DC lore called Skataris. And they fight some lizard people, and Wonder Woman goes blind. Superman loses his powers because of the magic, and Batman's just Batman. So they're fighting lizard folk, and they meet up with somebody who I feel like I've seen before, but have no idea who exactly it is, named Warlord. So if that name sounds familiar to you from DC lore, congratulations, you're old.
That works for me. I recognize that name.
And this is also James Robinson's start on this book. I just wanted to point that out.
I read it, and yeah, I googled Warlord and Skataris. I think it's a Mike Grell creation.
That's correct.
So I had to look it up myself. So I'm like, okay.
So, but yeah, decent. I may try to keep up with it, at least skim it.
I will say that I do like that even with the change of writers, there's been consistencies in the stories, sort of. Not exactly like the type of stories, but just like the feel of them. So, book's still pretty good. Just pretty great.
All righty. Back to you, Agent 70.
All right. So we're getting down to the last few kind of important books we want to discuss for last week. So I will bring up The Mighty Thor number 703. I don't know if you have that on your list, Tim, but you should have.
Yeah, I forgot to jot it down, but I read it.
Okay. So in this issue, the biggest deal is that Jane Foster is left to make a choice, and it's the same choice that she's been left with for the entirety of her career as the God of Thunder, and she makes it, in the point, to try to preserve her life, but unfortunately, thanks to solicitations for future issues and teases, we kind of have a general sense of where this is going. But otherwise, we have the Mangog making his way to Asgard through Asgard, and we finally get Odin kind of shocked back into reality, and the Odin son standing there. It's kind of reminiscent of, and I've always joked about Aaron's run kind of being his version of a lot of Simonson's greatest hits. This is similar to Odin and Thor and Loki in the old school story taking on Surtur as he was approaching Asgard. So in this version, it's Mangog.
The mighty Mangog.
Yeah. I mean, forgive me for not being that familiar with Mangog. I did not know he was like this threat level.
I feel like Thor has tons of these characters.
Yeah, right. They have to throw somebody, unlike well, I guess a lot like Superman. They have to throw a lot of these like kind of god-beating, world-eating, world-destroying characters to throw against the Asgard and Thor.
Right. I did like the sort of, we call it the when you get all the people together, like for addicts. What do you call that?
Hold on. The meeting with all an intervention.
Intervention, yes.
Yes. I was like, Alcoholics Anonymous? I don't remember that.
Similar type thing.
That's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, they had an intervention with Jane, with Doctor Strange, who we saw, and Falcon.
Right. And Rose Solomon.
Yeah, and Odinson.
Right. So that's pretty funny. Just for a hot second, I'm like, where was there hi, my name is Jane and I'm an addict to the power of Thor. Oh my goodness. Anyway. All right. So what's next? Come on, President Bartlett.
What's next?
Oh, that'd be me, wouldn't it? Hold on. Let's see. So I'll choose Champions number 16.
I think we all read it.
And
I'm glad you did.
It's continuing the 2 Viv Visions. We have the original Viv Vision who got turned into a human by the High Evolutionary. And then her new android twin sister that Vision created once he thought the original Viv was dead. So I called him Viv and Viv 2.0.
There you go.
He calls the other one Vivienne, but yeah, that sounds even better. Or
yeah,
more succinct, I guess.
Got to make it more fun.
Sure.
And I get the cover up here.
Yeah, the champions hold a membership drive because of what happened to Viv. Sort of.
So yeah, they end up adding Invincible Ironheart, Patriot.
They didn't necessarily add them yet.
Yeah, they approached them.
Yeah,
she gave the fist bump.
I mean, we know. Well, yeah, but they were having a science bro moment, so that was what that was. But I mean, we already know from solicits that Riri and I think Riri and Wasp are gonna be champions anyway.
Those are the two that take up that answer the call.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriot and Falcon 2.0
out there, and they were like, "Well, what's your interest?" And I think they kind of left it like that. And then Red Locust was like, "Yep."
I have a feeling. Yeah, what I was going to say is I have a feeling that these are future members and or reserve members, the way the Avengers do it.
I would think so. Yeah.
So I like that. My notes on this were that this is a nice update to the classic membership drive story. There have been a bunch of those in the Avengers book, and I like the way that Wade did it here. And I also said that it's it just shows how many young heroes and legacy heroes there are for the champions to choose from, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like that. It was part of it was a pretty good issue, especially like I said, the science bro moment and the whole membership drive thing, and Patriot trying to flirt with Red Locust or whatever. Not just that, but just that whole thing with them.
Yeah. Yeah, they still need to find a new name for Falcon 2.0. Yeah. Even if it's just Green Falcon or something,
Oh.
Something. Anything.
Yeah, that's probably coming.
All right. Whose turn is it to throw the book out there? Roddy?
That's me. And I guess since nobody else threw this out, and this, I guess, was kind of a big book. Avengers 676.
No, yeah, we all read it.
Which I don't know, and I guess if we talk about it for this week, I'm pretty much going to say the same thing. It just seems like they are taking some issues from old events and throwing them together, which is not necessarily bad, but because I'm seeing some similarities in some things with this one. And that's probably just me more than it being the case. Because apparently, as of then, let's see, the Black Order comes to Earth along with the Lethal Legion, and they seem to be fighting each other as if there was some sort of contest of champions. And sure enough, I called it because I kind of called it because the Grandmaster was around and is against somebody. So I guess it's kind of a contest of villainy in this case. And the battleground is Earth. Jarvis is still in the hospital because, well, I think we already know how that's going to play out, but it just hasn't happened yet. And yeah, they end up going after the Avengers in a way that mirrors another event book called Secret Wars, the original one. So good times.
Yeah, each issue for me has been like a slow reveal as to who is, behind the greater machinations of the story. And the Avengers right now are still in react mode where they don't know how to deal with all this stuff. It's just it's a very slow reveal, but it's not slow in the sense that we're getting it on a weekly basis.
Right. And I feel like that whoever the big bad is probably going to be Voyager, because we still don't know what the thing is. I might be wrong about that, but we still don't know anything about her outside of the stuff that's been brought up in the past, and she's been injected into Avengers history, which this book also kind of reminds people of.
Yeah, I mean, we can see in the end game that Voyager may end up being the big bad, and and we know which Avengers villain out there kind of messes with time. This may be part of a plot on behalf of that villain. So, that's not exactly beyond this character's capabilities. This Avengers villain I'm referring to kind of retcon the past, so to include a particular hero that all of a sudden everyone forgets about.
Who, in fact, well, that this particular villain has been showing up in the last few years, specifically in Avengers books, or one in particular.
Yeah, there is one. Yeah, I was about to say there is one specific recent appearance.
So totally. But we could very well be totally off base on that one. But I'm not holding that one off just yet.
Right. Okay. So anything else that's left for rapid fire? I think we covered most of my stuff.
And we covered most of mine except for two.
I was just saying, for X-Men Gold, this is my quick rapid fire. This Negative Zone storyline has been uneven at best. Never thought I would miss the days of the Claremont dangling plot lines. And we all know what happened in this issue because it was in the news.
Oh, okay.
Possible wedding bells.
Oh, right.
Right.
That thing.
All right. So that wraps my books for last week.
That was Gold 20, right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, Roddy already talked about No Surrender, so that was my rapid fire.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, well, I got Star Wars 42. I'll go ahead and get that one out of the way.
All right.
Basically, the rebels come up with a plan to take down this new mining machine that the Empire has that they got from a person from one of the annuals who's around. And of course, as you would expect, the plan kind of goes as you would think it does with the folks involved, that being Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, those crew. But it's not all bad, but it does run into a couple of snags here and there. There is a couple of references to Rogue One and New Hope again. And in the end, looks like we're going to get a SmackDown matchup between a princess and a queen.
Cool. All right. Does that cover you for last week?
I mean, well, America 11, but I mean, it's not really much to say about that one. I hate it's coming to an end, but
Gotcha. All right, so we'll start with we'll get started on this week.
Do we want to give clips of the week for that week?
Oh, we can wait till after.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna throw out. I had a lot of fun reading a couple books this week, and one of them was Amazing Spider-Man number 794. what was fun about this book is that, you know, now that we know that Slott is ending his run on Amazing, we've already started to see it. You know, especially with the developments over the last, let's say, maybe even 6 issues. But this is definitely, it's a new storyline, and it's definitely Slott wrapping up his kind of epic run on Amazing Spider-Man and tying up loose ends. And in the effort to tie up loose ends, you know, he's dealing with dangling plot lines. You know, I was referring to Claremont dangling plot lines before. What this is one of them involves the Zodiac and the Zodiac Key. So this story was a lot of fun. It's. I always used to joke about being new reader friendly. It's new reader friendly in the sense that it's the start of a new arc, but there's so much in-depth story that you will miss if you are just picking this up for the first time. Maybe that's a way to get people to pick up back issues. But this particular storyline leads to a particular. It seems like it leads to a particular old classic OG Spidey villain making contact with the Carnage symbiote. Spoiler alert! And those are the big takeaways from this issue of Amazing Spider-Man.
I would like to point out, I don't know if Tim's got the cover, but for the very reason of the cover itself.
Nice! The wackos!
There was a West Coast Avengers variant that just happened to spot in the store, and I was like, I must have this because it is awesome.
That is
I
cool.
would never read this issue, but nevertheless, I have this cover.
That is cool. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun moments in the issue, so you should definitely, if not, just crack open your review copy. You know, there's a couple of fun moments in the issue.
Don't know why U.S. Agent is there, but screw it. And they don't have Firebird on here either, since they had most of the team.
Really? Yeah. Who's that? Bagley, right? That's Bagley's fault.
Yeah. But they, as you see, they got most of the people who have been a member.
There you go. Is Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman on there?
Yep.
Gotta be. Okay.
Yeah. Right there over in the corner.
Nice. All right. Who's next? What's next?
It's back on you, right?
I just threw out Amazing Spidey.
Oh, okay.
Haha.
I will do Marvel 2-in-1 number 2.
Yes!
This was fun.
This was a lot of fun.
Right.
Probably my click of the week. Between that and Amazing Spider-Man, but probably this will be my click of the week.
This was so fun.
As I work to get the cover up. There we go. There. So, Johnny and Ben head off to what they think is this location of Ben and Reed's first adventure together, Monster Island. Is it Monster Island?
Yes.
Yeah.
In kind of a swerve.
And I guess some stuff from Monsters Unleashed has happened there, but no one's paying attention to that series. So nice little editor's note fills us in on that, where they're looking for a clue from Reed, and they end up tussling with Mole Man and some other figure. Who's the other guy?
Googum,
whoever that is.
Monsters Unleashed.
Yeah, who cares?
And Dr. Doom has to come save him. He drops a bunch of Doom bars.
That's cool.
I feel like Zarsky really has the what's the word I'm looking for? He has the Doom voice down. The condescending voice of Doom.
Yeah, I kind of
he very much leans into it too.
Yeah, he kind of just handles Ben just like you know what I'm like, you know what you're doing, and I know what you're doing, without actually saying anything.
Yeah, that's too funny. That is too funny.
So
speaking of that, did you do in the flashbacks? Did you see the date on the?
Yes.
I was about to say we'll get to that because I think did someone put a story about that up?
Yeah, CBR put one up today about it.
I didn't get it, but okay.
I mean, it's just a.
I thought that's what you were referring to, Roddy. That's why.
I just noticed it when I read it. So
Yeah, I mean, I noticed it too, and that's why they broke it out into a feature. But so they've the always sliding Marvel timeline scale has moved again to not so
98.
98. The Fantastic Four was not formed yet.
Right.
Although, what was it in the Ultimate? Do we know? Or the Ultimate timeline? I mean, not to say that plays anything, but
No, I don't even know if they Ultimates even ever did they ever.
Yeah, we know it was definitely closer to a modern times thing.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever gave a specific time.
Right. I mean, at
way.
Marvel does this to freshen up and
exactly
de-age their characters.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to say that this puts them, roughly in like, in their late 30s ish. And depending on how much experience we're giving them, but ultimately what was great about that flashback wasn't just that time slide, but was actually being referenced, what actually was Ben and Reed's very first adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny about this is one, Johnny Storm makes a crack in this issue about how he was the one that was left, like the fortune basically, but Ben is the one that Reed trusts with the secrets. And the reason why is because they were the ones who were friends. They were the ones who came up as friends.
So yeah, it would only make sense,
right? And
Johnny's hygiene is something left to be desired.
That was a nice running joke, but I definitely liked the, there have been stories like this before where, they've explored the bond between Ben and Reed, especially during the time when Reed was constantly trying to find a cure for Ben's condition. And I liked, this was a definite laugh out loud, turn of the page for me. And I won't spoil it, but I was in, not the most private place today reading this, and I definitely laughed out loud.
I think also what I enjoyed about this was Jim Chung's art.
Yes, I never want to be the first to tout it.
Him and Frank Martin, I don't know if Frank Martin is Frank Martin, right? The colorist.
Laura Martin, or is it Frank Martin? Let's take a look.
Someone check that for me, please.
Color. Yeah, Frank Martin. Color.
Yeah, I don't know if Frank Martin always colors Chung, but man, it looked great here, especially a bunch of the splash pages and the way the art, the color changes in the flashback sequences. Like the lighting is different, and it has that old school TV look of let's look back to the past.
Sure.
So that's fun.
Yeah, it's kind of washed out.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, fun. They got some doohickey at the end.
Yeah, so that was the other thing I was going to bring up is we knew there was something, but the way they've been playing it off is okay, it might be something, it might not be, because I'm still kind of waiting for the whole Johnny reveal, even though Ben could have been let off the hook.
First issue, right?
Course of this issue, but I feel like they're still going to do something with that, even though it does still seem like that they are running towards something actual. So,
yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
Lots. Right. And that one splash page where the grand joke is revealed, that was beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like a one big panel and then a couple of small, 3 panels at the bottom. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Who knew Reed had it in him?
Well, with a little egging on from Benjamin Jacob Grimm, so
yeah, and they still kept it going. So. So I guess next up would be Black Panther number 169.
I did read that.
This was a good, nice action-packed issue. All said and done, actually. So they brought back the fact that hey, Claw's trying to bring his because it's been a while since they brought it up, but Claw's trying to bring his sister back from the dead or whatever. Yeah, she was dead. Using the two Dora Milaje that was captured. That's Ayo, who's on the table, and Anika was probably was about to get killed, but she escapes because you can't keep Dora Milaje down or locked up for long, and she goes and promptly messes things up on that end. But even though something seemed like it was not right in the first place, although I now realize that wasn't something wrong, it's just that whatever's being monitored was being monitored. And a bunch of series of fights break out during the complex because of Anika breaking out and finding Ayo, and they call in some reinforcements, and all hell breaks loose when reinforcement arrives. So this was pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems like we're definitely moving towards the climactic battle scenes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Tim mentioned one of the other big books I wanted to refer to. I can do, the Marvel stuff. I can do rapid fire, even though I had a lot of fun reading them. I wanted to bring up a different book. It is from Boom Studios. It's a #1 issue, so it's a definite good place to jump on. It's by one Saladin Ahmed, with art by Sami Cavella. Forgive me for butchering, and Jason Wordy on colors. I'm referring to a book entitled Abbott #1, and it's actually a period piece by Mr. Ahmed, who is the writer of Black Bolt, which I'm a big fan of, about a black female reporter in Detroit circa 1972. It's an interesting read that, spoiler, throws in a supernatural element that kind of felt out of place to me. I really enjoyed, the story of reporting news in a city on the edge. I thought it was well written. This is definitely enough for me to pick up a second issue and see what happens next.
Cool. I heard great things about it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. The supernatural stuff is kind of out of left field, and there's a scene in this that is definitely reminiscent of Godfather Part 1.
Okay.
And when you see it, you'll be like, "Oh yeah," and you're tempted to yell, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" Anyone who is familiar with The Godfather will know what I'm talking about.
Is that right?
If you know what that scream is from, then yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, all right. Who's next?
Tim?
I think it's me. Let's see here. I will do. Actually, I just did one. So my second will be Thanos #15 because
Nice. Thanks for bringing that up.
that is awesome.
Yes, it is a lot of fun.
We found out who the Cosmic Ghost Rider is,
which is out of left field.
Yep, wasn't who I guessed, but
yeah, I would have lost that bet.
And we also found the reason that King Thanos recruited his younger self into the future, what threat they're going to face.
Sure enough.
And that's about it, really.
Yeah, but it definitely moves the story along, and because of the reveal of who the Ghost Rider is, kind of throws you a curveball at the same time.
Which we're going to find out more about that next week or next issue.
That we are. What do you got?
Jeff Shaw's art is good on this too, by the way.
Yes, definitely.
It's like, why hasn't he been on a more high profile book? I'm glad he's getting the spotlight.
Well, to be honest, before we move on, I honestly thought this might have been Deodato. I did not realize this was a different artist.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely reminiscent of his style, very heavy blacks. Heavy.
I feel like it looks better. Deodato, he's gotten everything's dark and
overly dark, right?
Yeah, overly dark.
You're kind of using it to cheat, don't you think? Diodato,
Possible.
in terms of like the line work, he's using the blacks and the shading to really cheat on what he has to draw. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's another story for like a spin-off show entitled "The Comic Chronicles" and their art critics and their art critiques.
So, is it back on Roddy?
Yeah, Roddy.
There we go. I had to make sure the mic was going. Well, I'll skip that one for Rapid and just go to, I guess, Teen Titans 16, which is also still going to be wrapped up pretty soon because, hey, guess what? Marv Wolfman is back on the book, and it is a Starfire-focused issue where she's getting stalked, tested, whatever the case may be. But you have Raven and Beast Boy there, but it ends up still being a Starfire-focused issue because, like, there's some people, there's a group of folks that she has dealt with before that is after her again, and they underestimate her powers, and even up into trying to use her fellow teammates against her, which does not work out. And it seemed like it pretty much went and done, and they're going to focus on, looks like next issue, focus on Beast Boy. So it was pretty neat. See Wolfman back in the saddle with his with the team he created.
Nice. All right, so I guess we can start this phase of rapid fire. Inhumans Judgment Day #1. So the Inhumans are not quite reunited, but we get a quick recap of what actually happened in Royals, which I appreciated because I dropped off the book. So we find out what everyone's status quo is, and this actually leads to what appears to be hopefully a start for a fresh direction for the Inhumans.
I'm wondering what's going to happen with this franchise in the comics because I wasn't crazy. I mean, this was fine, but there's like only 3 Inhumans books solicited for April. And that's like solo series: Miss Marvel, Black Bolt, Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur.
Right.
And that'll be what, 3 months away from this coming out.
As strictly Inhuman books, Miss Marvel and Moon Girl.
What was that?
I said they don't even really treat those.
Yeah. They're just Inhuman characters. Black Bolt's like the only one really tied in with them. So, and that's probably the 12th issue of that comes out in April. And that's probably going to be the end of the series.
Yeah, that unfortunately that does look like it because it looks like that's when they're actually. Well, actually, no. I think they're soliciting in the back of Judgment Day. They talk about Black Bolt going to 14.
I feel like it's talking about that 12th issue, but maybe I don't have it in front of me to check it.
Well, let me just because I read it, it's actually still kind of fresh in my mind. So they're talking about oh no, I apologize. You are correct because they're saying that 10 is the next issue that's out in February and 12 is on sale in April. That might very well be the logical place to end the series.
Yep. And then there'll be forgotten characters like the TV show.
Yeah, that's too bad because I'm a big fan of that Black Bolt series.
Marvel's getting the X-Men back in the movie, so no need to distance themselves from them, quote unquote.
I was going to say, technically, if you're not counting, I guess you can count the Lockjaw limited series. As, because they counted here at the back.
Yeah, they counted there, but I'm like, whatever.
All right. So
it's me, right?
Yep.
Quickly, X-Men Blue #20 wraps up the cross-time capers. I'm gonna write about that next week for CBR.
Okay.
And probably overlooked the Avengers Infinity War Prelude #1. Fills in the gap between Civil War and Infinity War. So if you want to find out what Tony, Cap, Sam, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, Black Panther have been up to between the movie, check this series out. Found a lot in this first issue. Like Shuri is working on Winter Soldier's programming to get rid of it.
Which we kind of felt.
Well, we didn't know Shuri would be involved with it.
Right, that might be something that they'll drop here as opposed to explaining it away in. Although it might have been a nice post scene, post credit scene.
Now, I think this sounds like they're going to make some of that. I mean, they're obviously going to make some of that known because there've already been articles about her being like the tech genius and how old she is, in the MCU. So
It's funny that. I was about to say it's funny that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, and her. I think her was on his arm. So yeah, like that stuff's kind of out there already.
Gotcha. I was just going to mention that it's funny that they are shifting that part of T'Challa's origin onto her, where T'Challa was like a rival of Tony Stark and Bruce Banner in terms of intellect and ingenuity and inventiveness and all that stuff. And with the introduction of Shuri as a lead character in that regard, they kind of shifted that because I don't think they stressed that at all in Civil War. We may see it in Black Panther. So let me not, the road to that is definitely not closed yet.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, this doesn't discount that still being the case. So,
but it'd be interesting to see if that's what develops out of the movie.
Right.
Where he's more the king and she's like the tech person.
Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, it sounds like that could be what they were, but that seemed like what they're building up to. But for my second, I already did that one. Sorry. So I guess the only other one is that other Avengers 677.
Yep, I would have thrown it out too. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean the same thing as I mentioned earlier. It still continues. The Avengers obviously escaped their dimension or getting blown up, which is what happened. The guy was taken someplace else by Voyager, and they take this time to regroup. And Quicksilver's being Quicksilver and being kind of hot-headed and think he needs to be out there and do something, which ends up getting him Jarvised.
Oh no!
As in what happened in another Avengers event, Siege.
Right. Very similar, and or disassembled. So
yeah. There is that, and like I said, I made a note that said Grandmaster's playing Darkseid. We still don't know who that is, and that was just a joke. But and also was like, well, dang, I wish there was a baseball game because usually when they have an Avengers event like this, and they have a bunch of them together, there's usually a baseball game, but it's also not an annual. So,
gotcha. I always associated that with the X-Men. But maybe I'm just not up on the Avengers annuals.
Or so, yes, because they've done it more often. But there's been like 2 or 3 annuals that they've had a baseball game and a contest of champions broke out. So,
gotcha. Cool.
Including where, if I'm going to use a wrestling term, Quicksilver turns heel and tries to take down the Avengers.
Oh goodness! All right, so I think we're at Clicks of the Week time. All right, so my pick for the week of 119 is drum roll. Maybe ticking clock is more apt. I'm gonna go with damn it. What did I really like from last week? I'm gonna go with Mighty Thor scratch that. Doctor Strange 384.
Same here.
Cool.
I went Batman 39.
Nice. And as for the week of January 24th, I'm going with Marvel 2-in-1 number 2.
As am I.
Nice.
Interesting. Odd man out. I'm going for Black Panther 169.
Good choice. Moving that story along nicely. Oops. All righty. So I guess we will get to our first ad read of the night. And ladies and gentlemen, listening and watching the Comic Book Chronicles podcast, help keep our podcast free by shopping at Amazon. Visit cspn.us, then click the Keep Our Podcast Free link at the top of the page. From there, scroll down and click on the Amazon link to shop. Purchase items from Amazon as you normally would, whether it's books, music, electronics, jewelry, apparel, etc., and or Marvel Legends. For every purchase made on Amazon through our link, Amazon sends the CSPN a payment That helps us keep the Click Nation's Comic Book Chronicles podcast free for our listeners at no extra cost to you. Amazon.com through CSPN.us. Do it today.
News time.
There you go. Here we go.
Marvel's reportedly shutting down work on Disney XD animated series. Boo.
Yeah, I haven't followed that one up, but as of
They did renew Spidey, right?
Yeah, they did this week.
Mm-hmm.
So,
was that the follow up? No, I'm not sure. I didn't see a follow up. So, according to here, it says some of Marvel animation shows are going on hiatus and being laid off, according to some blog. So we don't know.
That stinks.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Wasp suit up in new official image.
Looks good.
Yeah.
You see video to picture of the suits. Or specifically Wasp, because we've seen Ant-Man's. So
right.
Chris Hemsworth confirms Avengers Infinity War's partial cast list.
Yeah, he was on Jimmy Fallon. I guess either let some slip or whatever the case may be. So
Samuel L. Jackson reveals interesting details on how Nick Fury will look in Captain Marvel.
I would argue probably the same as he did, except minus the eye patch.
Yeah. Be my guest. Spider-Man Homecoming 2 recruits Daredevil and IT crew members.
Sure.
And Spider-Man may appear in Tom Hardy's Venom after all.
Which should make more sense than not.
Disney releases official synopsis for Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yeah, people didn't sound like they didn't care too much about it. Didn't read it though.
Okay.
I didn't even read it either. And Ryan Johnson laughs off woman-free cut of The Last Jedi.
Oh, no. Yeah, so apparently someone made a fan edit or tried to make a fan edit, whatever. It's dumb. And of course, his and Mark Hamill's and Boyega's was appropriate. Just being a bunch of laughing emotes and or just laughter because it's dumb.
Yep. Ryan Johnson succinctly explains Leia's force use in The Last Jedi.
Because she's a badass motherfucker.
Because she's a twin sister, damn it.
They don't people
don't.
You know, come on. Don't go there.
Star Wars The Last Jedi director hilariously proves one controversial moment makes perfect sense.
So there was, I guess, speaking of that it wasn't even speaking of that, but there is a book called The Jedi Path. There's also one for the Sith called The Book of Sith. So Ryan Johnson promptly went to his bookshelf, pulled the book off the shelf in a series of tweets, and pointed to a passage about advanced force techniques, which means which I knew this from another place. Basically, how Luke was able to do what he did with the fight. It's spoiler alert because it's been a while. If you haven't seen it, sorry. How he was able to be at the fight with Kylo Ren. And it is in the book and also been explained elsewhere. So, yeah.
With the Homer Simpson's gif.
Yeah, and he just capped it off with that, which was funny.
Colton Hayes returns to Arrow in behind-the-scenes photo.
Yeah, so there you go. Guess he'll be back at some point. I'm not caught up yet. Or he might be back already. I don't know.
The CW Supergirl may be casting its own Lois Lane.
Because they had a Superman, so why not?
Not right.
And they already got her sister on there, so
Black Lightning debuts to strong ratings.
Haven't seen second episode, but the first one was pretty good. From what I've
Second's
seen.
pretty good too. So
from what I heard, yeah.
Let me try to catch up on that stuff this weekend.
And Lightning just introduced Green Lantern's sister.
So this wasn't specifically said in. Well, I don't think was it said in the second second episode? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't in the first.
I missed that.
So basically, what this is going off of, and this is from last week anyway. So that they're talking about the first episode. So in which I think this is also a DC thing anyway. So they basically just said, well, because he was married to, oh shit, I forgot his name, Lynn.
Yes.
Yeah. In the comics, and and that kind of, I guess that is still around, and she is John Stewart's sister in the comic.
It's not Hal Jordan's sister, is it?
No. No.
I was like, I didn't know Hal Jordan had a sister.
No, well, I'm about to say if he did, I think she's probably gone along with whatever city that blew up that one time. But yeah, so yes, so Lincoln and John Stewart are linked by the fact that he was married, excuse me, to John Stewart's sister. Again, they have not said that in this show whatsoever, but just by the fact that she is in the comics, and she also is Lincoln's, ex in the comics, and here, they threw 2 and 2 together and said, eh. Or at least this article did.
Gotcha.
And they also opened it up to saying, well, if that's the case, that could they have opened up, Green Lantern be in possibly
The Arrowverse, or at least in the Black Lightning verse.
Right.
Gotcha.
But again, that seems speculative.
Dedito all but confirms JSA Legion of Superheroes series on the way.
Is it going to be on CW?
I mean, there's nothing been said about that. Just that it's a thing that sounds like could be coming.
Okay.
I mean, more than likely, probably, because they already kind of set up, especially when they have since they have the multiverses set up, and they have like the Earth X stuff and the Ray from whatever, so they could do it.
Jeff Johns teases Hitman DC TV adaptation.
Yeah, basically sounded like something he wanted to do. So, and they're like, yeah, they're talking about it. I know of the character, but I don't know. But then again, Arrow's had like obscure characters like Human Target, so sure.
Shazam character info may tease another villain, Black Adam cameo.
Yeah, it was off of a rumor site, so I don't know. Savannah sounds like.
Oh yeah,
character.
Then. Yeah,
Dr. Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
This Is Us star Ron Cephas Jones circles wizard role in DC superhero film Shazam.
Cool.
The wizard Shazam sounds like. Well, it just says that. So I did not know he was on This Is Us. So apparently they're mining that show pretty decently, because I knew this dude from Luke Cage.
Yeah, I already forget. What was he on Luke Cage?
He was Bobby Fish. He was the dude in the shop.
Oh, see, I know him from This Is Us.
Well, I know he was also in The Get Down.
Well, yeah, he's been in a few. I mean, he's been in stuff, but yeah,
he's one of that guy. Very recently, because we've all named like 3 kind of major projects over the last few years that he's been in. So, but I had to look up his name because I was like, that's not Randall's father, is it? Because I also recognize that This Is Us thing. And I'm like, it is, no kidding.
Yeah, I was like, oh shoot, Bobby Fish, go ahead, dude.
Wonder Woman 2 will be the first film to implement the PGA's anti-sexual harassment guidelines.
I was going to say, what does the Professional Golfers Association do with it?
When I read it just now, I was like, PGA. All righty.
Sorry.
No, that's all good. So, yeah. But that's going to be a thing going forward. So, I hope maybe more movies will implement such guidelines.
Frank Miller's 300 prequel gets release date. New image revealed.
What? It's not called 299? Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Actually, wait, I might have had this in the wrong place. I thought I had this. No, yeah, I think I got this in the wrong place.
Oh, there's a comic. It's comic news.
Because there was rumors about a prequel with 300 show, but that was just a rumor, and that's not this. So that's in the wrong place. Oopsie.
Moving on.
Ryan Reynolds is working on a Clue remake with the writers of Deadpool.
I say the nay. I love Clue. That has been on record on here. That is one of my favorite movies. That comic book was also good from last year. We've already talked about it last week. Go back and watch that show, listen to that show. But I don't know Ryan Reynolds in a Clue thing, and especially with the writers of Deadpool, that doesn't give me good feels.
And last but not least,
Incredibles 2 voice cast and character descriptions are given.
Yep. So I think most, if not all, of the original characters come back. Yep. And actually, I think I don't know if they're gonna have a voice for Jack because he didn't have a voice then, but nevertheless, everybody's back.
Yeah, the crying voice. Someone had to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Brad Bird. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Before we go to the books, I would like to mention that there is a pretty cute Captain America Funko Pop short. I didn't put it in I put it in the section because it wasn't necessarily newsworthy enough. But if you ever get a chance to see it, it's out on YouTube I think it's the Funko Pop channel.
Cool.
So Funko Pop Cap is fighting Red Skull and may or may not have launched a nuclear missile. If you're watching the video and you see how that plays out.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's cute.
All right. In comic news, meet Luna Snow. Marvel's newest superhero is an ice-wielding K-pop superstar.
So this is pretty much video game news because this is coming from Marvel Future Fight, which is one of the Marvel games that is out there. It's been out there for a minute, and this is a new character that they have added to said roster for Korea, which the developer's career is Korean, so that shouldn't be that much of a surprise. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to say this is fan made, but I'm not entirely sure. But I think it was definitely made for the Korean market or something like that. And her given name is Sol Hee, and she had a singing career, and something ended up happening, and she ended up getting powers. Doesn't say whether she's like an inhuman or anything, just that she ended up getting powers. So there's that.
Hey man, K-pop is huge right now.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
it's been huge for a while too. So.
Mm-hmm. And which is probably why the other reason why they did that, because it wasn't just a Korean thing, because like you said, it's big over here too. So,
alrighty.
What's next?
Avengers 675 gets a second printing.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
On the 14th, or next, February 14th. So he must have done something.
Yep.
David Baldion announced as artist on Marvel's Domino series.
Which I feel like I may have seen something he's done recently, but
he's done a lot recently. We've seen his art.
Yeah, the title y'all were talking about before the shows. Was it the Spirits of Vengeance?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Marvel hires John Nee as publisher.
Nee. I was about to say he's a knight. Oh, goodness gracious.
And he's been around, so I guess congrats. Sure.
I spoiled the next bit of news, which is that Dan Slott is leaving Amazing Spider-Man and is going to be writing Iron Man.
That was kind of making the cycles. So
that's kind of big.
Yeah, he's gonna write Iron Man, which I'm slightly interested in seeing what he does with it.
I am, because I enjoy his Amazing Spider-Man run, so I'll follow along as he takes on the billionaire playboy philanthropist.
I mean, yeah, Yeah, superior more so than amazing as of late, but definitely that and Silver Surfer has been great slot books, and I mean and amazing too because I've read whole arcs of old Amazing, so yeah, this ought to be interesting.
Kelly Thompson signs a Marvel exclusive.
Good on her.
Yeah, congrats.
She'll probably be one of the probably be the Jessica Jones writer, I assume. I know the press release, he said that she had a couple projects coming out that would be announced at a later point.
Yeah, and then I think she was on Twitter saying that she went to the recent writers retreat and was hey, nice to meet you, all that kind of good mess. So hugs all around. Oh yeah, that's right. She's writing Rogue and Gambit right now too, and Hawkeye, which is about to go away. So
Jim Zub ushers in a new era for Marvel's Champions.
Wait, no, that's next issue, I think.
Yeah, it's very soon.
It's in April, so
it's very soon.
And also the leaving team sent some not sent some they had some things to say on Twitter. Not bad things, just like they enjoyed their time. I'm not sure if I've seen anything from Wade, but I know the artist was
Ramos.
Was it Doug? Yeah, it said some nice things. Like enjoyed in time and miss everybody and blah blah blah. This and that and the other from so.
Marvel's X-Men Blue promises a new team lineup.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Every single one of Marvel's GLAAD award nominated comics has been canceled.
Yeah, that's a sad thing. Not necessarily. Well, I know we don't know whether it's intentional or not, but we've already talked about the hubbub that's been going on with that stuff with those books and sales and whatnot. So we don't have to go through with that. That's just a note that hey, that happened.
Black Canary is the new Ra's al Ghul of DC Comics. Oh wait, I'm skipping way ahead. Archie Comics' new Dick Tracy series has been abruptly canceled.
Which, I mean, it was a thing. Now it isn't. Not sure what happened. Oh, it sounds like it was a licensing thing that may have been skipped over or unnoticed.
Yikes.
Yeah. Now,
Martian Manhunter's Rebirth Arrival rewrites Justice League continuity.
Oh, what are they doing now?
Nothing really.
Jeez.
Just a flashback showed him with the League.
Wait, is it 1998 also? Oh no!
I mean, I'd like to point out that like in the flashback, Batman has his current suit on also, so that's his current day outfit.
Yeah, you can see it in the. I'm assuming this is what you're referring to.
Yeah. So
okay, explain this next story that you're getting into before you realize you skipped a few.
Black Canary is the new Ra's al Ghul of DC Comics in Gotham Garage digital miniseries.
Oh,
thing, but it's a different thing. And yes, Ra's al Ghul gave over the mantle to Black Canary, and yeah, so it's not in Prime canon.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah, it's not canon.
Well, not Prime canon. It's like an Elseworlds thing. So, or however they treat that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, this is somehow a big deal.
Is it?
Could people go crazy over iconic costume changes?
I guess.
I can barely.
My timeline, my Twitter timeline at least.
Yeah. So what they're referring to is Superman's iconic red trunks comes back in DC Comics and DC Action Comics 1000, excuse me.
Right. It was dropped in leading up to the release of April's solicits this week. So that was a big part of the pre-order rush.
Was that belt always there? I don't.
Yes.
Know. Okay. Great.
The belt with the whatchamacallit, with the loops. The belt.
Okay.
DC's Cyborg comic is being resurrected by one of its original creators, Mr. Wolfman.
Back again, Marv Wolfman's going back to the book. So apparently I did not realize that Cyborg had gotten kind of sort of canceled, or at least it ended.
It took a month. It's like it's taking a month off.
Right.
Between changes.
Right. So, and Marv Wolfman is taking back over the book as he did with the Titans this week.
Yeah. I mean, he took it. He also wrote. I think he also ended the series when what's his face left last time.
Which series?
Cyborg.
Oh,
what's that guy's name? Thinking our names.
I think
Black Rider.
Yeah,
David Walker.
Yeah.
David Walker left, Cyborg.
That's right, because he did I think he did like one.
Took over and finished the series, I think.
Right.
So could be the same thing here again. They brought it back for a month after a month off and let it run a little more before he finishes.
But he's also doing Raven, so he's pretty much getting the whole Titans
in the game
issue series for Raven. Jeez.
Yeah. Guess he felt the pullback.
Yes. It's not the same. I'm sorry. That's the OG old fogey voice jumping out.
DC to release Lost Superman comic from original creators as a part of the Action Comics 1000.
That would be Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster stuff or some stuff.
I joke by the time this Action Comics 1000 comes out, it's going to be the size of a graphic novel.
It's a good point. It's going to be huge. How much?
It's going to be like $10 too, probably.
Exactly. Like it's solicited at like a high price point, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I guess so. This is the only book that's actually technically reached 4 digits, right?
That I can think of.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to change with some of the other numberings, but okay.
Right.
DC Collectibles unveils new Teen Titans and PVC statue lines.
I was going to say, speaking of bringing back the old school Teen Titans.
Mm-hmm. So you got the whole set of folks, even including old school Robin and not Disco Nightwing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's straight off the cover of the #1 issue.
Mm-hmm. And old Cyborg, of course.
Yes. Old Donna Troy, old Starfire. You know, that's the classic lineup that I have in my mind when I think of New Teen Titans. So, and last but not least,
Black gets a new series in April as Black AF Widows.
So, okay, so the thing about this, and I wish I had found another article because I don't like using BC, but so apparently Black AF is like the spinoff imprint branding that they're using, because the Black series, I think, is under its own, and then they have that America's Sweetheart series that is coming out, and I believe that is going to be under the Black AF imprint. And I think was it something else? I can't remember. No, that was it though. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Widows and Orphans. That is the other book that is also coming out, and I think it will also have that the Black AF branding on it from Black Mask, which is all of this is coming under.
Okay. I actually have a preview of that, I think, in my email.
Yeah, I think I showed it already, but I know I got all my stuff from the Kickstarter from that Black stuff. I think
I did too. Yeah, I got my Kickstarter.
Yeah, I thought I got 2 copies of one of them. I'm like, well, wait a minute. It seems like I already got this, but it might be something. Might have been something different. I will have to check though, because it's been a couple of weeks.
Let me check my email because I was going through things earlier before the show, catching up on things.
While he's doing that, I can show something real quick.
Go for it.
And I didn't tell you this, Agent 70, and I'm slightly not proud of myself, but whatever. So I did get the
I was about to say, you're going to get to the part where you're not proud of yourself.
Yes.
Go on.
Didn't I get it? Well, so what happened was I did find, so for those watching the video or listen to the audio, I hold in my hand a 2 set of Black Panther and Shuri. Actually, I got another one. Oh shoot, it's in the closet. I can get it because I also got that other 6-inch Shuri figure that they had at Walmart and other places.
The 6-inch Shuri figure.
Yeah, because they have another. It's not the Shuri. It's Shuri without the mask, and it's a different.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't have that.
Yeah, so I got that from Walmart, and I got this, which is a two-piece set of Claw and Shuri. That
The
is
comic version.
yes, that is a Toys R Us exclusive, and I forgot to put that in the lineup because Toys R Us stores are closing down. Agent 70 stores are safe. Mine is not, and that was the only one that is in my town. But I got this because I was at my comic book shop, and he had it, and I didn't see it because he has a place where he has all the legends.
Sure.
And I was like, well, because when we were talking about the Toys R Us thing, and he was like, oh yeah, I got that. I'm like, really? And I was like, oh, you bastard.
Nice.
So, but he had it, and it unfortunately was for a little bit more of a price than
Markup. Yeah.
But he cut like $10 off of it, but it was still a little bit more than I should have paid.
Gotcha. Well,
but and it's there, so yeah, Toys R Us.
Yeah. We've all been known to do that, to just kind of cut out the stress of worrying about getting it. So
yeah. So if you know about the Toys R Us thing and you're a toy collector, you may want to start. I know there's an article out there, and I don't have it on me. Actually, I probably do have it on me.
Yeah, looking for the stores that are listed for closing, and I may have, there's some that are not too far from me. They're on the Long Island part of New York State. I may find time to drive out there and just kind of take a look at some of these ones that are on the chopping block, and just see if there's any sales to be taken advantage of.
I can't remember when they said that stuff is supposed to be like finalized with that stuff, but I would say you might want to start checking in within the next week or so because they start slashing stuff or lowering the prices.
Exactly.
I know if you're in South Carolina, more specifically Columbia, there's only the one, and if you know where that one is, you better go there.
Well, it might be time to start building some of those some of those Build-A-Figures that you've always wanted to make.
Well, yeah, but I still need. That's the whole space thing, though. That's not necessarily a figure thing.
Right. I still want to build a Absorbing Man. By the way, there's actually a bit in the Inhumans. That book that came out this week.
Yeah,
that made me again want to go back and build Crusher Creel. So
that was actually that was I had a weird moment reading Avengers when a character that shows up in Black Bolt shows there, but I don't think it's not the same one, but it is a version of a different character. I'm like, that's weird. Gotcha. I wonder if it's the same one, but I don't think it is. It doesn't seem like it is.
Alrighty, so I guess before we wrap the show, let me get our last ad read in for the night. This ad is for Wink, the personalized wine club. Wink is a world of wine delivered right to your door. From rosé to Cabernet to Torronté, Wink has over 100 styles of wine to discover. Ever try an orange wine? Wink connects you to a world of exclusive wines tailored to your tastes and delivered directly to your door. Wink delivers 4 bottles of wine to you every month with free shipping. You can pick your own bottles or let Wink choose and match to your taste. It doesn't cost a thing to become a member, and you can skip or cancel anytime. And now, the listeners of the KLIQ Nation's Comic Book Chronicles can enjoy an exclusive discount of $20 off your first order. To place your first order with $20 off, and to help keep our show free for you, go to our network website at cspn.us/wink. That's cspn.us/WINC. Wink wines through cspn.us. Do it today. Hold on. There you go.
Follow us on our individual Twitter accounts. I'm at TimDLGG98 and at CBCron. RowdyCat is at RowdyCat and at News Nerds Needs. And at CBCaps on Instagram. Agent 70 is at Agent_70 on Twitter and Instagram. And PCN Dirt is at PCN_Dirt on Twitter, and go to his website, popculturenetwork.com. And he should hopefully be back with us next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. KLIQnation.com/live to tune in. And with that, we are the Comic Book Chronicles, and we are signing off.
Peace.
Good evening, friend. Would you believe it's Dr. Doom? What's on your evil mind? Hold your insulting tongue and mark my words well.
How about this rumor that you are really hired